Good morning, folks. This is Deb. You know, it's Friday, and I'm going to be heading off to work soon. But you know, this is just a little weekly wrap of what we've seen here in the United States of Trump this week. And you know, this could become things are going so fast and furious now that this could become a regular thing. I don't know. We'll see how it goes from here. We'll see what next week brings. Okay, but it's been a pretty eventful week here in the good old US of A. So we don't ignore this because we haven't talked about it yet. Let's talk about what is now known as Signalgate. And we all know by now that, yes, Pete Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard, the clueless one, put together a chat on Signal, where my group is actually discussing an imminent attack on the Houthis. And we can go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth about whether this was real classified information, whether it wasn't classified information. Look, folks, this was classified information. These documents were seen and are pretty much classified. And when the conversation talks about when you're going to attack and who you're going to attack and how you're going to attack another nation or a terrorist group, it's a classified document. End of story. I don't care what Tulsi Gabbard said with the deer in the headlights look when she responded to questions in front of the Senate. Tulsi Gabbard is not even qualified to carry an American flag. There are other issues here. Who should step down? Should it be Pete Hegseth? Should it be John Ratcliffe? You know what? I think all of them should have to step down, but that's me. And who is this guy, Steve Witkoff, who was in this chat while he was in Russia? Because he is, even though he's nothing more than a real estate magnate, now Donald Trump's special envoy to the Middle East and Russia, who absolutely has his head up Vladimir Putin's ass. He loves Vladimir Putin, thinks he's a genius. Now, Witkoff insisted he didn't have his personal phone with him. And that's where the chat was happening, was on his personal phone. So where was his phone? Who had it? And who had access to it? We don't know any of the answers to that yet. And we should have a congressional investigation on this, but will we? I don't know. And look, I'm going to state right up front, don't blame the Democrats for this. The American people gave Donald Trump control of Congress. So the Democrats can try to force a vote on this and can insist on this, but they have no legislative power right now to make this happen. If you want that to change, there's an election in Florida on April 1st. So get people in Florida out in District 1 and District 6 to take those seats away from Republicans, and maybe we can get somewhere in this ball game. Okay? So, and let me just say this. You need to go to our YouTube channel, okay? Because we have a pretty good tutorial from Adam Schiff on who Steve Witkoff is, and we have a lot of other backup material that we just can't show on TikTok, okay? Now, we've had Elon Musk make fun of this whole situation like this is a big joke, because Elon Musk is a big fucking joke, okay? This is his comment. I'm going to read it to you. The best place to hide a dead body is page 2 of The Atlantic, because nobody ever goes there. Well, he's referring to The Atlantic because also in this chat, somebody in this group of geniuses that are in our intelligence community invited a gentleman named Jeffrey Goldberg to the chat, a writer for The Atlantic, which I subscribe to, by the way. It's a great place to go get information. Don't listen to Elon Musk, because I'm convinced these fucking people can't read. So Elon Musk is kind of insinuating that they did this whole thing on purpose, invited Jeffrey Goldberg on purpose to exploit how incompetent he is as a reporter. What they actually did was prove how incompetent they are and how intelligent Jeffrey Goldberg is, and especially in the way he handled this. Okay, and this will all be in the backup to this video. This is one of the biggest things we've seen this week. This should not be allowed to die. And the American people should not allow it to die. We cannot rely on the media in this country, not the legacy media. There's plenty of alternative media we can rely on. And pretty soon we're going to be putting together a list of people that you should be listening to. Okay? But that's not for today. This cannot die, and the American people must not allow this to die. This cannot just go the way of every other goddamn scandal that Donald Trump has ever been involved in. All right, this is also a man who had no clue that 4 service people died this week, has not still made a statement on it, nor even referred to the families who are suffering from this. But that's a different story for a different day also. This shows you the kind of president he actually is, all right? He's a nothing. He is not a world leader. So what else have we seen this week? We've seen people snatched off the streets by ICE right here in Boston and elsewhere. They detained, for example, Union leader Lalo Juarez Zaffarino, not because he's a danger to the United States' national security. The people in our national security portion of our government are the danger here. He was, detained because he's a union leader, just like many people being pulled off the streets, not because they're, illegals, as they like to call them, but because they have differing opinions, political opinions. If you don't think this can happen in the United States, it's happening here in real time, okay? It's happening here in real time every single day. What else have we seen this week? We watched Kristi Noem, the puppy killer, travel to El Salvador to see the people being illegally detained in a prison camp. She went there to film a propaganda video wearing a $60,000 Rolex. Okay? These are the people running your government. And the American people, make no bones about it, put them there. So when you're looking to blame people for all of this, let's not forget to look in the mirror. Because even though 77 million people plus voted for Donald Trump, 90 million people in this country chose not to vote at all. What else have we seen this week? RFK Jr., the man who heads our public health, has been speaking so much about vitamin A and measles and how this can help with the measles that we now are seeing people bringing their children to the hospital in Texas with vitamin A poisoning because it is a vitamin that gets stored in the fat of your body and builds up. And these children are going in there now with not just measles, but liver damage. These are the people that Donald Trump has put in charge of your public health. What else have we seen this week? There's a lot, but I can't get it all in here, okay? How about this one? Howard Lutnick, who is the Commerce Secretary. He's worth $15 billion, stating that Social Security is a good way to root out fraudsters. And people who are legitimately on Social Security won't be upset if they don't get their checks on time, or at all for that matter. Really? Well, you know what? Howard Lutnick doesn't rely on Social Security to pay his rent, pay his light bill, buy his food, feed his children. His mother-in-law doesn't have to worry about getting her Social Security check on time because she's got a son-in-law that's worth $15 billion. We are being fucked over by Donald Trump's billionaire boys club. And my little group, the Factivist Project, believes there needs to be an active movement against Elon Musk in America. And we are starting to fan those flames. We haven't got all the plans together yet, but we will let you know as soon as we do. I will talk to you all later.